Hello everyone, welcome back to MLS Moves. Please make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Before we get to the video, I'd like to thank you all for your support and remind you that we're doing a jersey giveaway when we hit 3,000 subscribers. 3,000 subscribers is our goal to reach by the end of this month, so make sure you subscribe, stay subscribed, follow me on Twitter at MLS Moves for the latest up-to-dates on the giveaway. Now, on to the video. So let's do a Concacaf Champions Cup preview, I guess. Sadly, unfortunately. So let's start off with Club America and the New England Revolution. So Club America absolutely cooked the Revolution. The Revolution have absolutely no chance, never had a chance, never will have a chance to win Concacaf Champions Cup, and it looks like the Bruce Arena curse still lives. They lost 4-0 at home on Tuesday, and yeah, I mean it's over. It's completely done. Stick a fork in it. Club America could probably play their third team next week, and they'd be absolutely fine. So yeah, I mean it just shows you that some of these teams in the Champions Cup have no business being in it for MLS, and it's really sad. It's really sad, honestly. That's the quality of team you have in the round of 8. Pachuca, obviously, they're on cruise control. They're winning 4-0 right now. They're going to advance as well. No questions about that. They look pretty good. They could be a team that could win it this year, honestly. Then you go to the Columbus Crew and Tigres. That was actually a pretty good game. Tigres, obviously, Andre Pierre Gignac scored the first goal, but after that, the Crew actually looked pretty respectable. They had Tigres on their heels, had several chances at the end of the second half, and you kind of just felt that they were going to score. That was trending in that direction, and then Diego Ross does score to tie the game up. But unfortunately, I just don't know if they've done enough to where they're going to be able to go down to Mexico and beat Tigres at home. It's just hard to fathom that that's going to happen. But they have been the best looking team for MLS this round, or this Champions League, or this Champions Cup. They have been the best looking team for MLS thus far, the most respectable team. And it just comes down to that they have a great coach in Wilfred Nancy, and they have a deep team. And they even did this without Cucho Hernandez playing, and they still looked respectable and like a formidable team. So you have to admire what they've done and what they were able to do last night or on Wednesday night. And, maybe they surprise us. Maybe they are able to beat Tigres at home. But I just, history is not in their favor. And, it's not looking very good, honestly. So, we'll see what happens when they do get Cucho, what can happen. But, I just, all hope's lost at this point. Let's be honest, Let's go on to Monterrey and Miami. Miami had several starters out. They had, Redondo's out for 8 weeks. Messi didn't play. Facundo Farias has been out for the whole season with his torn ACL, MCL, LCL, everything. Robert Taylor got hurt in this game. Team looked pretty good thus far. Early on in the game, got on the board first, scored. Aviles scored on the, on the corner, and you kind of got a glimmer of hope. Like, my God. Can Miami actually do this? Can they actually beat Monterrey? It was looking good. And then David Ruiz got a red card, and the wheels fell off. And not only did Monterrey get a goal, they got 2 goals on the road. So Miami, bare minimum, has to score 2 goals. They have to win 2-0 at Monterrey next week in order to advance. Even if Messi plays and Suarez has a good game, and, everything aligns for them, it just seems like a tall task. You never want to count Messi out, but, it just doesn't look good. I mean, the depth, like some of the guys that were playing tonight, you're just like, what are these guys doing? Afonso came in for Taylor, and this guy looked like he didn't even belong on a USL team. He was slow. He was sloppy with the ball at his feet. I mean, this was embarrassing. This is where you truly see the disparity between Liga MX clubs and MLS clubs. It's the depth. MLS can have a great starting 11, but it doesn't matter if you have no depth. I mean, that's why these Liga MX teams have killed us historically, because they have depth. They are a solid team, 1 through 18, 1 through 20. They have players who can fill in and not have a huge drop-off in talent. I mean, some of the guys playing tonight are literally making $50,000 a year for Miami. $50,000 a year. and they're expected to come in and be able to compete against Monterrey, one of the best clubs in Liga MX, maybe the best club in Liga MX. What are we doing? How are we supposed to beat Liga MX teams when we can't spend effectively or more on the roster? And listen, I know you're going to say, oh my God, that's an excuse. MLS sucks. And, that might be true. MLS might suck. Okay. But let's not pretend that if the purse strings were loosened, that MLS wouldn't be able to compete possibly globally, definitely with with Liga MX and South American clubs. If they open the purse strings, they would be able to compete with several clubs. The only person that's beating MLS is MLS itself, because the roadblocks, the barriers it puts in front of itself to not allow teams to spend more. Everybody knows that the league needs to start spending. The time is now. They have Messi, the biggest face in soccer history, in your league. Everyone's paying attention. People are watching the league that have never watched before. You want to retain these people, to keep them around when Messi leaves. How are you supposed to do that when the quality is not very good past the starting 11? How are you supposed to beat them? Yeah, sure. There's a couple outliers. Obviously Toronto was very good in 2017 when they the 2018, Concacaf Champions League final when they lost to Chivas. Sebastian Jovinko was a madman at that point. He carried that team. They made some signings, but they lost. LAFC lost to Tigres in 2020, the COVID year. Had a great run. They lost. Sounders beat Pumas in 2022. Was a great run, great story, looked good. Let's be honest, a lot of teams would beat Pumas. Pumas wasn't a powerhouse. They weren't one of the top teams in Liga MX at that time. They had a lucky run in the Champions League at that point. So we have one win to show for this whole time. LAFC obviously, laid an egg last year against Club Leon. They should have beat them. I mean, even with spending aside, it doesn't matter. They should have beat that team, and they didn't. They choked. They laid an egg. They lost. Things have to change. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, I've said this numerous times. At one point, players did not want to come to MLS, not because they weren't willing to pay, but because they didn't want to be part of the league because they didn't think it was any good. Now, players are willing to come to Major League Soccer. It's a matter of the league and teams spending to bring them here. Major League Soccer has a lot of players that are wanting to come to MLS. They want to be here. Young talent wants to come here. They look at it as a launching pad for their European career. Or at the worst case scenario, they come here and make more money than what they're making in their previous league. I used to say that it was the scheduling. Obviously MLS is still in their beginning of their season, but, depth would fix that. It wouldn't matter. It's all about spending. I did a post this summer calculating during Leagues Cup of what teams in Liga MX would have DP-wise if they were playing by MLS rules. And these teams have 11, 12, 10. Most of these clubs, DPs are what would be considered a DP by MLS standards based on transfer fee and what they're paid. How is a team with 3 DPs supposed to beat a club with what would be considered 11 or 12? I mean, it's not even comparable. It's a wonder MLS is even able to score on these teams, to be completely honest with you. So, yeah, I mean, something's got to happen. There's been rumors about changing rules, but we've heard this several times before. I'll believe it when I see it. I want to see actual change. If MLS doesn't care to actually change the rules to help teams build better rosters, build better products, actually win on an international or at least regional stage, if they're not going to do that and show that they care, why should the fans care? What's the glimmer of hope? What's the light at the end of the tunnel? If they're not going to spend when Leo Messi decides to come to MLS over several other options, he turned down $1 billion in the Saudi League. $1 billion to come to MLS. And what do we have to show for it right now? A Leagues Cup trophy that was played at home? Every Liga MX team playing on the road? That's what we have to show for as far as global trophies? I don't know. It doesn't look good, honestly. It's very deflating. It's the same old thing, same old, I'm tired of talking about it, honestly. So let me know in the comment section, how disappointing are you that MLS completely choked with having 10 MLS clubs in the Champions Cup and Liga MX had 6? How crazy is that? Let me know what you think. What's your thoughts? How do we fix this? How does MLS truly compete with Liga MX clubs in the Concacaf Champions Club? Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell notification so you never miss a video. And until next time, I will see you all soon.